this has been quite a while since I last recorded anything from the Kerbal Space Program, but now there's a new update, 0.23.5, which is the asteroid redirect mission. And since everything should still be compatible and there are just some new asteroids flying around the Kerbal planet, and there is just some new parts, I figure I'd continue the Kerbal Realism project we got going on here. And I don't really remember where we were last time, but I see I need to turn up the volume on my microphone here, and as I'm doing this unedited, I'll take care of that in the first place. So let's in fact not do it like that. Let's do it like this. Just hang on for 2 seconds. I'll have you ready in no time. That might be a lot better. I like that. Okay. So this should be even better. And this should be just about perfect. Okay, since I don't really remember where we left off, I'm going to check out here the asteroids. Oh, you can see here there's one pretty close, and it's been 4 minutes since it's been last seen. It's a Class B. It's a 4 to 7 meter radius object in close proximity. So we should be able to track this one. How do we track it? Can we right click? Oh, there's a tracking button. Track object. We need to track that to see if it has... Oh, that's not good. Can we do that again? Well, this may be going to be impacting Kerbin in... When this has an encounter in 31 days. And how the bonkers do I zoom in on? Well, anyway, we need to track these objects to see where they're going and when they are impacting and what class they are. See, the class A is just very small, so they go from A and all the way up to I don't know, but A is the smallest, and B was 4 to 7. This is a big one. This is 12 to 18 meters in diameter, class D, or slightly bigger. I don't know any of the A, B, C, D. I don't think 12 to 18 meters. I think the atmosphere would take care of that one for sure. It'll take care of objects smaller than that. So even though the first one was going to hit, I don't think we should be worried about any of these ones. And after we've tracked them to see the trajectory, oh, this is way out in the future and it's still class B. That's one behind here. Let's track that too. That's a class C. That's still a small one. The class D one wasn't even that big. Let's track that one. That's still a class B, 4 to 7 meters. Are there any one of these that are actually really big chunks? Nope. None of them are really big ones, but I guess the interesting part of this is to go out and do science experiments on these asteroids. Now we've tracked every one of those. We have them out here. We can see their size and their trajectory. discovered 1 year, year 1, what day 1, and the one that was the closest was this one. This is asteroid SYT 232. For now, I don't think we're going to do... Oh, there's another one just ahead of that one that we haven't tracked. There's another one up there that we haven't tracked. This is a Class C. Let's track that one. And 2 new unknowns, 3 new unknowns down here. Let's track those. Let's just continue to track these for as long as we possibly can. See, there are new small ones popping up here all the time, aren't there? See, do we have every one of these in this asteroid cloud here? No, there's a small one down there. Let's track that one. It's a Class D. So I really don't think none of these. There's another one there. And another one there. Let's fly around here. Look for the biggest one. That's a Class C, Class C, Class D. I think this is one of the bigger ones. VRC 587. Another Class D. C, C, D, C, D, B, B, A, B, C, C. I wonder what the sort order of these tracked objects is. Is this about time? So this one is in... This one encounters in 72 days. This one encounters in 95 days. So this one encounters in 220. No particular sort order. I think this is just the order that I discovered them in. So, but I guess none of these are really dangerous, and that Kerbal atmosphere will take care of them. I'm just going to keep tracking the new objects that are popping up here. There's a lot of them now. And a new one right there. That's new Class D. I guess they're tracking these things all the time, so it's gonna keep popping new ones up. But I think this is more than enough for the moment. So let's go back to the science lab and see what kind of things we have discovered here in the research center. Some rockets, some ding-a-dong, some mangadong, some of this, dingamahangadon. We got dibadongs and stuff, engines, winglets, radial decouplers, other kinds of... What? Oh, yeah. Survival, different support survival packs, and some parts, and we got the lowest tech tree things here, construction, heat slabs, so on and so forth. Because remember, we are playing with the Reentry heating mod, so everything's going to get very hot when they re-enter. So what kind of rockets did we build? We built a mystery goo experiment orbiter. So I think what it's time to build is, what do we have? We just have the normal command pod, so we need to do manned missions still. There's no way of doing remote controlled missions, but I see here there's actually a bunch of parts here that are not available because something is not done quite right in the research center, so, or because I don't have a rocket built, or, yeah, okay then, yeah. So, manned missions, we need to be careful about that. This has a built-in heat shield that should be enough for the command module here to survive. On the command module, we need to put, of course there needs to be a parachute. So for this to safely arrive back at planet Kerbal, we need a parachute. Yep. And we need to put on this goo experiments because we need to collect our science, and we need to place those roughly on the side of this, and we can't do with just one. So let's do 2 of those to extract, or in fact. We had this cool experiment rocket here. What was that? Let's load that one. Yeah, let's do that. Solid rocket, boosters, lifting stage, transport stage, and a lot of goo experiments there. I guess, where are we on science with this? Because we may need to take this on a very, very deep trajectory. Let's see what we got. Kerbal. We got mystery goo observation while in space near Kerbal. So we only got mystery goo observation from launch pad near Kerbal. Recover risk from suborbital flight. EVA report while in space high over Kerbal. EVA crew. Blah blah blah. Mystery goo reports. We've got 2 near Kerbal and on the launch pad. Well, we need to do some deep space mystery goo observations now to collect more science. So in fact, I think this vessel I've been building here is about perfect for that. Let's check out the staging on this. We've got solid boosters down here, big main engine. We've got separators for the solid boosters. We got a separator up here. We got another engine. We got a separator below the just below the goo experiments here, so we can take this cap and take that back into the atmosphere. And we got a separator here for the heat shield. I guess we're not going to be deploying that one. And as a safety precaution, I think we're going to take this type of parachute off, and let's go with a bigger one here. And let's go one on each side. So that's 2 parachutes instead. And then let's not do the heat shield separation at all. Let's place that last in the stack here. What is it I need for this mission that I'm overlooking now? I think electricity is a huge problem, but I have no batteries. What do we do about that? What do we do about that? And the obvious answer is nothing, and we're going to save this mystery goo orbiter experiment 1, and we're just going straight out and launching this big boy. Let's hope that our next research will take us to some probing, so that we can actually go out and maybe probe the moon, or go to some of these asteroids and probe those. But let's turn on SAS. Let's go 2/3 throttle and check. We have resources. Everything seems to be a-okay, and I think we're ready for launch in 3, 2, 1. Influence here. Certainly going beyond the moon and flying way away, but it's not going to happen. And we are out. Let's separate that, so I'm fine with that. So it's just the capsule. Let's see, how far are we going to make it now? 476 meters into space. Let's see if we do a goo experiment now. What kind of science will we get? We will get absolute zero science, so reset that experiment. So near Kerbal has been absolutely emptied for science on these goo canisters. Let's wait until we get out even further. And I guess the next mission will be, if we do not unlock any further science, I think the next mission after this will be a similar mission with just bigger rockets, and maybe we will aim for a moon orbit and do some goo experiments from there, because that'll definitely give us more science, so we can do high and low over the moon goo experiments. Let's accelerate time here. Oh, I can't do that one. Throttle up. Let's throttle down. Oh, we need to have this up. We are throttled down, so we can accelerate now. Let's go to the top here. Let's go to our apoapsis. Downtime. Let's see regular view. Let's see the goo experiments now. Observe the mystery goo. How much is this? This is recovered 10 science. So let's do those. I think this is the most we can do at the moment. So I think we just need to do every one of these. And then we need to do meters per second. Oh, 500 degrees is absolutely nothing. It's perfectly fine. Don't worry about these. Science, we have no one flying this at the moment. No parachutes or anything. Now. Expected. Back to the so let's see what we can do in have here. Because stage and then much about correctly for now. So what's the catch here? Uh, 370 ISP in vacuum. 370. So this is definitely a better rocket, but it vectoring 0. Gimbal 0.5 degrees. This has no gimbal, so that needs to go off. That needs to come on. Yeah, and this needs to be there. We need to do another copy of this engine, and let's take this one. Sorry, no. Let's do like that. Put it on there. No, let's not do that. Then let's take that rocket off. Take those off. Put one on there. Put this one on that one. Then pick it all up. Duplicate that. Let's put 6 on there. A better view here to put it at the same level. You can see that's about right. Let's take that and trash it. Yes, like that. Do we have any aerodynamic parts here to put on the... Yes, these go on the top to make it aerodynamically efficient. Yes. Plenty of power now in the first stage. I think that's going to take us a bit further than the solid rocket booster thing. And let's save that on the same Orbiter Experiment 1, because the Orbiter Experiment 1 wasn't actually Orbiter Experiment 1, but a prototype in which a dear astronaut of ours just died. Sad thing, really. Let's actually just go straight to the launch pad and test this out. I know I could use the computer and calculate and stuff like that, but it's just more fun testing. We have no struts, so there's no way of strutting this together, so we're just gonna hope it sticks together. Gonna turn on the SAS, gonna check out our resources. It's okay, and we are go in 3, 2, 1. engine here. In fact, I think this rocket could have the power to do a moon interception at this level, but we need to do something weird here. We need to burn down towards Kerbal again to widen out this orbit to ideally the height of the entrance here on the opposite side, our periapse here, should be about 40 kilometers to do the optimum air braking when we're coming down here, because at this sort of trajectory here we are going to have a serious amount of a re-entry speed. And we need to look at fuel. We have about half left. So this will lower the apoapse and it will raise the periapse until we will have a periapse. No periapse yet, and we're down to a third of fuel. This is not really looking as good as I wanted it. Come on, rise, little periapse, come on. It's moving. But we don't have very much fuel left. Yes, we're just going to let it burn out here on this course. And it'll burn out shortly. And let's see if we can have Bill Kerman survive this. We nearly had a periapse, but this is going to be a much less steep angle, or a much nicer angle coming into the atmosphere now. So what we needed to do was to accelerate time. Can't do that while we are on throttle. Let's cut the throttle. Let's accelerate to 100 times, and let's just go back down. Do one goo experiment. Observe that. That will do us for 10 science. Mystery goo while in space high over Kerbal. Yeah, sure. Let's time warp that. Look at how far away. Down again. Back. Let's see what sphere we're in now. Observe that. While in space high over Kerbal, let's keep one more of those and let's try and go to the apoapsis. See if we get another sphere of influence out there. Oh! Electric charge is running out. That's not good either, because that means still high in space over Kerbal, so I don't know with this electricity problems. Are we going to kill Bill Kerman because our angle of re-entry is bad? Or what's going to happen? And like before, let's keep 2 of those until we reach the surface. But I think we're going to run out of electricity before that, and it's going to be a really cold day for Bill Kerman, and as I remember, we don't get any science out of this either, and there's no science in the crew report, so let's not do that. Let's separate these, and then the only thing we have to do coming back down is to open the parachutes, and electric charge is now depleted. I don't know if we can deploy the parachutes without electric charge. So effectively we've already killed Bill Kerman again, and we don't have any way of having more electric charge than we already did. I don't even know if we can correct the trajectory. Bill Kerman died of air toxicity, so that he definitely just died from too much CO2 in the air, and there's nothing we can do now except just recall the mission. Revert the flight to assembly. Yeah, we don't want him dead, so let's revert this one. So the problem here is electricity, and we do not have enough electrical charge to do a mission of that size. 50 is in this one, and I don't think we have any electricity, life support, food, carbon dioxide, monoxide. Well, this doesn't work without electricity, so food and waste, life support, carbon dioxide. Does any of these canisters have, or some of the plates, does any of those have any electricity in them? Water, wastewater, no. We don't have any parts at all, except another command module that could give us double the electricity. So I guess what we're going to have to experiment with here is putting another command module on top of that one. Let's move our parachutes up here, and then just making sure that there's no crew in the one. That's an empty command part right there. I think this is the only way we can actually make this work, and let's make those rockets fire at the same time. And in fact, let's click the center one, please. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Oh, we're not over in here. Sorry. Let's go back to parts. To take this one off. We need to put another fuel tank on there to give us a little bit more lift. And let's move this upward. Reattach. Let's reattach this. Nope. Let's reattach one of those like that. Take off these caps, put on another fuel tank up here, and put that on all of them. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was 20% more fuel on the first stage. Let's see if that takes us anywhere, and still save it as Orbiter 1, because actually no one survived this mission yet, so we can't justify calling it 2. I think this is what we need to do, and I think we just need to launch this. So this is the third attempt. It's actually becoming quite hard when you don't have any batteries to sustain life with this. Oh, that's zoomed out like way far for some reason. Zooming in, zooming in. What's that? Oh, flag. Sorry. Zooming in like this. And let's do a throttle up. Let's turn on our stabilizing. And check the resources. We now have 100 of electricity. And I think we need to separate the liftings, the last lifting stage there, to not have that. I don't know if it uses more energy stabilizing with that on, so let's drop that when we're out there. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. So that nice floating separation. It looks like some kind of big flower or something. That actually looks pretty nice. With the sun in the background there. And we haven't even used 10% of our electricity yet, so I think this is actually looking pretty promising. This should take us to a height of 700 kilometers. Let's put a maneuver in up here so we do it a little bit different this time. Let's do a periapse of 35 kilometers on the opposite side here. Let's do that 45. Well, let's keep that fact. Try 40. 36. 38. It'll be. Okay. So let's accelerate time until we are just before this maneuver node. And when we are up here at the apoapse, we are going to try and slow down and do the goo experiments. So we have 3 minutes now to do goo experiments. So let's observe those, and we are still more than half fuel, and we're at our apoapse. Or half electricity. That's a good sign. So let's keep these. I think we're going to have an astronaut survive this mission, which is becoming quite unusual for us at the moment. Killing Kerbals is not. Kerbals is not really a habit I want to keep up. So let's keep those two for when we've hopefully successfully landed. And I guess there's still no point in doing crew reports up here. No. But we could have 2 crew reports this time, since we have room for 2. We could also have 2 EVA reports, but there's no extra data in that. Right, then 2 minutes until the burn. We need to find our maneuver node burn point here. It's actually not in that direction. Stupid me. So what we need to research with immense speed is actually some way of keeping up electricity while in space. So we need solar panels in, and we need them sooner than later. So I think these can be made to self-deploy at atmospheric pressure. We can make those deploy right there. So those should actually deploy by themselves. So even if we have now a dead crew member here, I think the parachutes should actually deploy themselves now. What do we need to do now except wait for a minute? We are a minute over time, I see. So we need to fire up the engines, and for some reason it's not firing up the engine. Why is that? Let's see if we need to activate this thrust input. No. We just don't have any thrust. Do I need to go something like control from here or something like that? In fact, I think I need to go back to the tracking station to explore this, and let's try and take control over it again, because we have kind of lost all control of that vehicle. I couldn't even do an EVA report, so let's click fly here. Let's hope we have control again, because we have. Yes. guess by now we just need to burn all of this direction. A little bit annoying, you can't see how much. Oh, we can up here. Just follow that liquid fuel. Oh, cut the engines. We have an apoapse of 40, or periapse of 43 kilometers now, so that's actually quite successful. Let's delete this maneuver node, and let's go back here, and let's separate from that engine stack. We don't need that anymore. And all we need to do now is actually wait until we re-enter. And since we ran the engines again, we actually now have 100 electricity again, because of course engines generate electricity. So now we're full on electricity again, and we are falling back towards Kerbal like planned, and we will have a re-entry with the Kerbal atmosphere at a much slower rate than before. Of course, it will also take longer time because the speed is not as high, but we still have electricity. We still have 75% of our electricity left, and I think we're coming down towards a re-entry now, and we need to look at our angle of approach here, and we need to face in the retro vector here to have our heat plate contact the atmosphere first. 120 meters, we don't need to worry yet. Half of our electricity remains. This was what we needed. This was what we needed. This was a brilliant solution. No worries yet. We need to go below 70 before we need to really start take control of the vessel. So that's 70, and we need to point it at the retro vector. And I think this time, actually, because the way the vessel looks, we can actually disable the stabilizing system here and just have the air work on the vessel here, because it should be aerodynamically stable the way it looks here. That will have a huge braking effect at this end of the vessel. So I think this will keep pointing the heat shield in the right direction. And let's look at the G's. We are slowly beginning to decelerate. You can see here it's not at 0 G's anymore. Coming up, we're producing any heat? Yes, it's slowly heating up. And now the speed is still climbing, but we're coming into the lower parts of the atmosphere, and we should now begin to have a big braking effect now. We're not actually seeing that, but we are seeing heat build up. degrees, slowly braking. I think a periapse is about at 42 kilometers in height, so I think that's going to be enough. This is a very slow acceleration. I thought 42 would be enough, but I don't think it really is. Maybe 35 is more like it. But this is definitely decreasing our orbit now at quite a furious rate. That's our periapse, that's not good, and we are still at speed. Of course, we'll start to decrease speed at a much faster rate now that we're going away from the planet again. But up here the atmosphere is not really thick enough to slow us down, and since we don't have the engines on here to generate more electricity, we really have a big problem. A really big problem. And we are still going out to about 600 kilometers in height. That's no good. Let's try and accelerate this. We can always revert back to the launch because we know what we did wrong this time. We need to have a lower periapse. And we are outside the atmosphere. Let's see what happens. Time accelerate this. I don't think we have electricity for this. Another circle around. And another circle around is not going to break us enough down, even at this speed, to make us re-enter the... decreasing rapidly at the moment, but this needs to go below 70. There's only one way on this one, and this is there no way we can revert this, or what's going on? Are we too far into the mission to revert it, or... Did we already lose Bill Kerman? No, we didn't. Bill Kerman is still alive. How can he still be alive? How on earth can he still be alive? Well, I am actually going to say that this time, coming around, we are going to have re-entry, because less than half of that. So, if he survives this, it's actually quite astonishing. And for some reason we still had a bit of... But now, since the vehicle is actually aerodynamically stable in the right direction, I think this is going to correct itself. So we don't really need electricity for that. And I think having it rotating like that could actually be good for the aerodynamic stability of the vessel. So let's accelerate this forward, have a look at the map here and see. It's actually falling already. 300. Yes, yes, yes. We're looking good at this one. I hope so much you survive, Bill Kerman. Rotation is picking up. That's not a good sign. Oh, we're changing rotation now. This is a good sign. So, rotate this way and stop and rotate the other way. Come on, you can do it. Yes, that's good. It's becoming more and more aerodynamically stable as we come down into the atmosphere. And our airpo-abs, I think, is low enough now. I think this time we're going to have re-entry. But this is actually an effective way of slowing down a vessel if you're coming in at a very high speed to use the atmosphere like a stone skipping on the water. So this actually slows it down slowly and won't put as much energy. This will dissipate energy and not put as much energy into your heat shields as it could. We're down to 100 now. We're going to have re-entry this time. Definitely. Yes. It's coming down. And as soon as this goes about below 70, we're sure to have a re-entry, because then we won't go outside the atmosphere again. So we're going to have re-entry now. And this is actually swaying quite badly. There we go. That's the camera change. We're going to have re-entry now. I don't hope it's going to stay as aerodynamically unstable as that. But we're actually coming down at a quite 2200 meters per second is quite slow speed. I wish we had the energy to stabilize this, but we don't. I really wish we had that. But heat shields on this, heat shields on that, heat shields. Actually, the only thing we are in danger of losing is the goo experiment. This is going to be quite a soft re-entry. Long. This is about as soft as you could possibly do it. We're just falling very slowly, and speed is just decreasing now. And 40, I think it is 35, we're getting into the thicker parts of the atmosphere. And as the atmosphere thickens, you can see the wobbles of the vessel is getting less and less. Thank God for that. So come on, 2000 meters per second at 35 kilometers. I think we're going to see some re-entry effects now. Small wobbles now. Yes, stabilize. Do it. Now. Yes. More and more stable. Come on. Finish wobbling. Yes, good. You can do it. Not many G's. That's a good thing. We're already down to 800 meters per second. No more heat. It's actually cooling down now very fast. And at about 10 kilometers we'll deploy the drone chutes. So braking. I think Bill Kermit is going to survive this one. Incredibly, he survived more than half an orbit without electricity. Poop! Bill Kermit is alive, and we are approaching the surface of the planet here. It's just time to accelerate that and look at this beauty. Do we have any signs here? Yes, we do. Let's keep that. Let's let it land, and let's take another one. Yes, let's do a crew report here. Can we do one more? Yes. Can we do an EVA report from here? EVA, that's more science. Yes, board the craft again. Cut all engines, press escape, go to the space center and recover this. That's a lot of science. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We have a vessel on the other side of the planet. Let's rescue this guy. Recover that vessel. 47 experience. I think those next steps are 45, so we can get one of those. And hopefully one of those has either batteries or solar panels. Well, I think I'm going to stop recording now and leave you in suspense here before the next mission. So see you in the next one.